Welcome to the I-League Roundup Show 2024-25. It has been brilliant so far as far as the quality of the games are concerned. 12 teams vying for that one top spot. And of course, the two sides from Goa, Churchill Brothers and Dempo Sports Club on the top. Is that making the Christmas more sweet? Whether the festivities are going to be wonderful across the Goas, all over the places, because the team is brilliantly exhibiting their all skills. And we have with us the former India international, one who's got that Goan flavor as well, Alvito D'Cunha. So what makes these two teams so very special?
It's really good to see both the teams playing so good football, and especially playing 5 away matches. It's not so easy. I mean, there's a lot of traveling for these two teams. But the way they have managed to play, 1 draw, 1 loss for both the teams, equal on points, maybe due to the goal average, Churchill is on the top of the table. But I think it's been a brilliant start for both the teams.
Now, it's been so special for a 5-time winner, twice the National Football League and thrice the I-League. The Dempo Sports Club coming back strongly from the I-League too, with a good friend in charge, Sameer Naik. Would you say a good defense wins you a championship?
Yeah, of course, it's always been said that. I mean, I also heard you saying, talking about the same in the commentary, when defense can make you win the tournaments, wherein maybe a teamwork can sometimes make you win the matches. But I think the most important team in Dempo, except one match against Srinidhi, if I'm not wrong, I think they've conceded the most number of goals. But apart from that, the defense has been excellent. They have been playing really superb football. What is really required in football, and that is what exactly they're doing. And maybe could be a reason because Sameer Naik, he himself played as a defender, so he knows how important it is to keep the clean sheet that can help you win the tournaments.
Now, one great thing about the whole tournament so far, we are past the match week 5. The top side and the side at the bottom, the pole position holders and the laggards, the point difference is only 6. Does it make very special, so competitive, this tournament?
Yeah, of course, because in this league there's a championship that is going to have an opportunity to play in the Indian Super League, and the team that gets relegated, then I'm sure none of the teams would want to get relegated, because this is why this league makes it more interesting. And we have seen Delhi FC, they were just on 1 point, and then suddenly they jump up the table with the last 2 good matches, 1 win and 1 draw. So this is what makes the league more interesting, and I think all the teams have got a very good chance. As you rightly said, 5 rounds of matches, but there's no big difference. Even now when Dempo plays Churchill in the next match, a home match, so maybe a home match for Churchill, but then again it's going to be a Goa derby match, wherein both the teams would not want to lose, as you said rightly. Before the Christmas break, none of the teams would want to lose, but then this is going to be a match that everybody would be love to watching.
Now, all the eyeballs were on a very special person who all knows in the Indian circuit, the most successful as far as the winning the silverware is concerned. He is named Antonio Lopez Habas, himself again a defender, and he joining Intercasti Football Club was something which caused a lot of ripples across the Indian footballing circuit. And he always has a team which is so very defensively organized. Now, Intercasti were unbeaten, but then it was a wonderful performance from Churchill Brothers. What do you say about the total composition of Intercasti?
I think the league is more interesting, because in this league you can't predict which team is going to win and which team is going to lose. Any team is beatable, and at the same time you can also expect results going here and there. Till the last match, Intercasti were unbeaten, and as you rightly said, Antonio Habas, he is known for his defensive qualities, and that's the reason why with ATK Mohan Bagan Super Giants, he's been the champion, managing the defense so well. But maybe in the last match they could not contain the pressure from the Churchill strikers, especially this guy, the South African Like and Gutierrez, who's been in outstanding form, scoring 4 goals. Especially Like has been absolutely wonder boy, I would say, for Churchill Brothers. But then this is what football is all about, and this is the reason why we love watching I-League, because it gives so much of enthusiasm for us to watch, because you can't just predict which team is going to lose, and especially with Habas having experienced players like Arindam Bhattacharya, Sumit Pasi, Narayan Das, so many players, Johnny Kauku is also there, but somehow I think football at times you need to expect defeats also, and that is how it has come in the last match against Churchill Brothers.
Well, you thankfully named Johnny Kauko. You have a brilliant creator in the form of Nikola Stanovic and the Moroccan-born Spaniard, Domi Berlanga, who scored the first hat-trick. People felt that he has got the real quality. He is one of the players to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been watching Inter-Kashi. In fact, the last match when they played against Churchill Brothers, I really thought this is going to be a match wherein everybody would be watching, which I'm sure most of the people from Calcutta, from UP, from Goa has watched this match, because Inter-Kashi in fact belongs to UP, and then they shifted their base to Kolkata, and then definitely they have a fan base in Kolkata. But I think Churchill were outstanding in the last game, but still, with having such players, the striker, Johnny Kauku, experienced goalkeeper, Arindam Bhattacharya, that is why it made them a strong team, and especially with Antonio Habas. But then, as I said, football, sometimes you have a bad day, and that was the reason why Inter-Kashi lost in the last game.
Well, that was possibly a cruel day. And again, a coach of Antonio Lopez Habas's quality. Did he undermine Churchill Brothers? Couldn't he estimate them properly?
I really don't think so, because
there were so many changes in the defense lineup.
Yeah,
but Sarkar coming in as a central defender, and then
the reason could be injuries, maybe maybe a tactical change. But then Churchill, especially coming from a last match victory against Bangalore FC, I don't think any coach would take the opponents as lightly. So I don't think, and especially they are just in the 5th round. So I don't think that was the reason. Maybe, as I said, the tactical changes and some injury to some of the key players could be the reason why he, brought in some changes in the team. But then for me personally, felt, as I said, before this match, I expected a high voltage match, a mouth-watering match, and that is what exactly happened. And as we know, that was one winner, and that was Churchill Brothers.
Now, Domi Berlanga scored a hat-trick against Delhi. He exposed the defensive lapses of Delhi. Presumably, at the same time, all the teams, they have their wonderful video analysts. They have analyzed the way that Domi Berlanga normally moves from the wide positions into a scoring position. Would you say he is getting caught, this Berlanga?
Yeah, see, sometimes in
because last 2 matches he was under a lot of pressure.
But this is what, now, for example, we talk about the highest goal scorer, Like from Churchill Brothers. So now that's when the opponents are going to come prepared for him. And that's when he needs to know where he needs to move, which are the positions. Like, let's say, if he starts as a striker, he needs to sometimes switch his position to as a winger. That will create a difference between the opponents, not knowing where exactly he's playing, how to mark him. So I think Berlanga needs to do the same. Sometimes he's been, as a target man, he needs to switch his position to the wingers. As we see in Indian Super League, a lot of players were known to play as strikers, but sometimes seeing the match situation, they try to play from the wings. One example I would say is Noah Sadoi. At times we see him starting as a striker, sometimes we see him playing on the wings, and this is what exactly coach needs to talk to the players. You start as a striker, but looking at the situation, you can change and become a winger, because that will give him more space, and that is his specialty. What I've seen in Berlanga, he's more speedy on the flanks. So I feel he could be an option for the coach in both the positions.
Now again, till the ultimate match in the round 5, another good friend of yours, Isfaq Ahmed, coached Real Kashmir, were doing excellent on the home turf. Now they travelled out of Kashmir, and they bled because they were the only unbeaten side after that Inter-Kashi defeat.
Yeah.
So what do you talk about that? Because Real Kashmir also has got the firepower.
Ishfaq, we have seen He has got that power in him, the spark in him, in fact. And but then this is what I said. This league has got teams which really we don't know which team is going to win on the particular day. And Ishfaq, before the last match against Namdari, he was doing an excellent job. Again, he was one of the contenders. That doesn't mean he is not going to be the contender to win the I-League this season. But quite surprising that they lost to Namdari. The weather conditions, I don't think would have really affected Real Kashmir. As we know, the weather conditions are almost the same in Jammu as well as in Punjab. So, but I think a very good team game by Namdari, and that was the reason why they managed to win. And as you rightly said, sometimes the teams take very lightly few teams, but then if Ishfaq might have done that against Namdari, thinking that they're not one of the contenders, they're not playing good football, not playing as a team game, that could be one reason. But then Namdari was outstanding in the last game against Real Kashmir.
Now, always in football, the surface matters. Now, they were playing Real Kashmir on an artificial turf in TRC football stadium. They come back to the Namdari and they are up against a lot of challenge. It needs a bit of adjustment. Would that be a factor?
Sometimes it does, but then if we say that this could be one reason for their performance to go down, then let's not forget Churchill has played against Aizawl FC, sometimes on the turf, sometimes on the natural grass. Dempo has done the same when they have played on the natural turf. They played the first match in Shillong Lajong and then they have come on the grass ground. So this I think you need to prepare yourself on which ground. Sometimes the intensity of the pass you need to adjust, because depending on what grounds you are playing, professional players needs to adjust to all kind of ground conditions.
Now, talking about the Real Kashmir strength, they have Baba Aminu in the defense, who has been a tested and a proven defender across the clubs. Now, he is really the strength. They brought in a Brazilian in terms of Paulo Cesar, who didn't fire. Would you think that with the rounds progressing, this side is going to gel better?
Of course, I think sometimes the team takes time to settle down, and definitely with the break coming up after the next round, the teams are going to get more and more days, although it's going to be a peak season wherein it's going to be like a Christmas break, a New Year's break, but then definitely professionalisms don't really go for a break. They have to get down for training, they need to prepare themselves, and this is why I said now maybe after the next round, Churchill or Dempo might still be leading the league table, but then it's a long way to go, and you never know which team is going to overcome them. And that's the reason why all the teams are equally the same. You can't just underestimate that this team is going to beat this team. But then I feel the most interesting thing is all the 12 teams are equal to each other.
Now, who can forget that the two times champion, the back-to-back, it's a I-League record as well, that Gokulam Kerala is bit down under pressure. They are right now at the 7th position, not firing. What's gone wrong?
This is something to me as well very surprising, because to be very honest, three teams that I have this year tried to say that Interkashi, Srinidhi Deccan and Gokulam Kerala would be one of the contenders to win the I-League, is seeing the performance, especially in the last year. The scouting has been good, the recruitments have really been good in terms of the foreign players. So quite disappointing to me the way they have started the league so far.
Because Abelardo has shown the quality for Gokulam Kerala. They've got a wonderful player in the form of Sergio Lamas and Martin Chavez. He has been across different clubs. So they should be firing.
Especially this guy Martin Chavez, I've seen him playing for Rajasthan United, he played for Churchill Brothers last year, and definitely, but then sometimes this is what happens, when you come for a new club, there's a formation, change in formation, a lot of new players, the combination is not as good as what you have combined with other clubs, but then, this is what I said, the break might really help this club to make a comeback, and especially with Srinidhi or Gokulam or Interkashi, believe me, after the break they are really going to come strong.
Now, you rightly mentioned about the Srinidhi Deccan. They have also got so much of quality in terms of the foreign players. Proven Faisal Sarisi, one who has been here. Eddie Sadia, back from the franchise football. Now, they have David Castaneda, who has been a prolific scorer and can always be the perfect role of a poacher. And they have also had Rolly Bonifacia and Uncle Aurelian. He has also shown the quality. Now, they are runner back to back in the last two editions. So they need to do well.
Of course, as you rightly spoke about, and especially after the win against Churchill Brothers, I really felt that they're back in the league, especially in the first match after a disappointing result at home, just a draw in the first match, I suppose, and then making a strong comeback against Churchill. But then, as you rightly said, they have got some very good players, especially the foreign players, and especially with all the youngsters, the Indian players. So that really makes them a strong squad. Experienced goalkeeper, CK Ubaid is also there. But then, this is what I said, maybe as time passes by, you will see these teams coming much stronger, and there is not a big difference of point between the first team and the sixth or the seventh team in the table.
So they are at the current situation lying at number 8, which surprises all the hardcore fans of the Deccan Warriors. We would need to talk about two teams which have proven to be excellent in terms of quick counter-attacking football. One, of course, is a standout, the Shillong Lajong side, and the other is Aizawl FC. And remember, Aizawl FC have an all-Indian squad, no foreign signings. Doesn't it is a bit surprising?
See, these teams, they develop a lot of players, and maybe the teams felt that it's an opportunity for a lot of youngsters to give a chance in this team. And Aizawl FC, they have not performed that bad. I think the last match they won against, I think it was, they won against, no, they lost to Rajasthan United at home. But then we need to give the credit, because most of the local boys are playing, and we all know what they can bring to the team. They're speedy, they are quick in counter-attacks, and that is the reason why they have been performing well. Shillong Lajong, after a draw against Dempo, what a comeback it was, scoring 8 goals against Rajasthan United. I mean, that was, I think after a long, I've seen a big margin win for Shillong Lajong. But then the flow that they have in the team, especially when they go for a quick counter, excellent.
But again, Gokulam Kerala did excellently well on the road. They held the mighty Shillong Lajong for a goalless draw. That was very important. You talked about Rajasthan United. No, they have never had a top finish, always on the mid-tier, the mid-table. How can they improve?
See, I think the team is lacking in consistency, and that's the reason why, as you rightly said, since the time they've got promoted in the I-League, most of the time we see them, they play well against the big teams, and then suddenly there's a drop of form in the matches that they really need to win. And that is the reason why they are on 6 points. Sometimes they win, sometimes they lose. But and as I said, in football, what matters is reading the opponents. And I think at times they're not prepared in what formation they play, because it's not about who are the players who start the game. It's about knowing the opponents and what formation they play, and what formation will suit your team to play against the opponents. And that's the reason why I feel this team is struggling at times to get the 3 points. But then so far they've got 2 wins, which I think, and especially the last match, a win will give them a big boost.
We had so many surprises so far. Some results, of course, people didn't expect. Delhi coming back and fighting back strongly. Namdhari, they're doing excellent. So would you still expect a lot more of surprises to happen in the coming rounds?
Definitely, and this is the reason why I-League, as we all know, it's very interesting, because there's a relegation. None of the teams want to get relegated, and they always fight for the championship because there is a slot to play in the Indian Super League. But this year, as you said, the difference from the top team to the bottom team is just of 6 points. So you win 2 matches and you are a contender to win the I-League. So I think it's going to be interesting, and you can't just take any team slightly in the I-League.
Again, you have an Indian coach doing the duties for Sporting Club Bengaluru. They are at the bottom. How can Chinta Chandrasekhar Rao inflict more of positivity to the team?
So I think they need to get some good quality players, which I've seen they are lacking in some of the experienced players.
Jordan Lamela, and again Carlos Lomba, one who is back in the heart of the defense, the Portuguese.
Yeah, of course, they need to get more. I say this because a team that got promoted in the I-League would not want to really, get relegated once again, because we have to all understand it might be a bit easy to play in the I-League rather than, playing in the second division and getting yourself promoted. And a team that has worked so hard to play the I-League and they just can't drop in form and they can't just get relegated, that is going to be very disappointing for them. But definitely, as I said, the break might be very crucial for most of the teams. And as you said, like Aizawl FC, they are not having any of the foreign players, but during the break or in the January transfer window, we might see some of the foreign players coming for Aizawl FC.
So this international break could be of great resurrection time for all the teams. Would you say that?
Of course, as I said, like Churchill might also want to strengthen their team, but then Goa is an happening place. All they need to do is concentrate, focus on what you are here for. The players might want to go for an outing, but it's fine, but enjoy as much you can. But then you need to know you all are professional footballers. Your focus should be on the game, and that is what matters, as I said. Otherwise, you never know which team is going to be the champion.
Now, when the league started, people were always talking about Interkashi as a potential champion. You had Gokulam Kerala, Sunidhi Deccan, and of course, very strong, the Goan sides, Dempo coming back into the fray, and Churchill Brothers as well. Do you really, at this stage, pretty early days here, expect or can you name a potential champion?
I think it's really too early to speak about the champion team, who's going to win the champion, but then I would really love to predict after the next round. Looking at the situation, a match between Dempos versus Churchill, because there might not be a big difference of point, but then still, if Churchill manages to get the 3 points in the next game, I think they would definitely be one of the contenders to win the league this season.
So it's wonderful, again, Alvito, to have your brilliant insights about the whole league, which is day by day progressing to an absolute thriller, can we call it that way. And it is always a topsy-turvy at the top, at the bottom, at every level. But people are keeping an eye on Interkashi because Antonio Lopez Havas can always navigate the team out of trouble. So keep watching the I-League, and that is streaming live on the SSEN. Thanks for joining. Goodbye.